already wavering on that agenda. His
Oh,
hearts doesn't feel it. I picked France before the tournament. I'm continuing to pick France now. In my heart of hearts, I think France will win it.
Okay, redo on mine real quick. Let me respond to that. I think France is a bullshit team, a bullshit country. Uh, they sit there and they just smoke cigarettes all day and they pray to a tower. Kind of weird if you ask me.
group stage gave us the surprises, the heartbreak, and a few teams that probably shouldn't have made it this far, but none of that matters anymore. Every match is do or die. One mistake, one moment of brilliance, one penalty shootout can completely change the course of this tournament. So today, we're going to be breaking down every knockout match, predicting who advances, and building a path all the way to the 2026 World Cup final. Fellas, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Vamos!
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, I mean, at a time of recording so far, we've obviously all seen it. I think we all took Canada over South Africa. So I'm not going to make that.
They played?
Pooch didn't even watch it. But we are going to go through now and go through every single one of the knockout games, give our takes, give who we think is moving through. And, we'll see. We will see what everyone thinks in their picks here. We'll start off with the first round of 32 game, or I guess second one technically. Germany versus Paraguay. Who'd you guys take here? Germany. Easy. We don't have to dive too deep. I think this is going to be an easy game for the Germans, and they got arguably one of the better draws of a lot of these teams. Moving on, France versus Sweden.
France is like Brazil of 2002. Too stacked, too good. I have France moving on.
Totally fair. Pooch, what you got here?
Francois.
France. Easy. We don't have to spend too much time there. Canada beats South Africa, and then we have Netherlands versus the Moroccos. Probably one of the best games of the early knockout stages here. I'm going to start with our chief Netherlands expert and actually prime Morocco hater. Pooch, what do you take here?
Morocco. Airport this way. No, I actually think I could see this game going to PKs. I think it's a very tight game. But with that being said, I just think Netherlands have more in defense and attack than Morocco have, just in terms of the depth of the team. Starting 11s, I think they go bar for bar, but this isn't a video game. This is real life, and I think the Dutch pull it through.
Fair enough. Rubes, any disagreement there?
My heart says Morocco, but my brain says Netherlands, and I'm going to go with my brain on this pick. I think it's exciting to go with Morocco. You won a couple underdogs, but the Dutch looked way better than I was expecting in the group stage.
I totally agree with you. This was a really tricky one for me. Morocco were a team that I had going pretty deep, making the quarterfinals, and obviously getting this draw is not good for them. I ended up going with the Dutch, but this is probably a game that it's a flip of a coin. You don't know who's going to show up on that day and ball out. I did go with the Dutch here in this one. I feel like they're being a little slept on this World Cup. They've played well, but I feel like they're still being a little slept on right outside the giants per se of it.
And when we did our brackets before the tournament, I actually did have Morocco winning that game. And that's sort of an aspect of, now that I've seen the group stage, I've actually changed my opinion.
100%. Portugal or Croatia, Pooch, who'd you take here?
Really tough one. I picked Portugal, but that's because I don't trust Croatia. I feel like if it was literally any other team, I would have chose them instead of Portugal. But yeah, I chose Portugal.
Fair enough. Rubes, any disagreement?
Portugal.
Yeah.
Two retirement homes going up against each other.
100%. I ended up going Portugal myself. They obviously will be playing the winner of Spain-Austria next, and we'll get into that one. I was praying for everything for Portugal to beat Colombia because I was like, please get them on the other side of the bracket. I don't have to see them. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
I had a Messi Ronaldo quarterfinal, and now it's ruined.
100%. Spain, Austria. You guys know where I'm rocking. I'm rocking with my people, the Spaniards. Vamos España. I think that we will take care of business here. There's no settling for a tie the way that Austria and Algeria did. There's no friendliness. Spain need to wake up. They need to get a big performance here, especially before they play potentially Portugal. Rubes, who'd you have here?
España.
There we go. Pooch, gonna finish the trifecta?
Yeah. Looking at the bracket right now and seeing those two flags and names next to each other, this game has to be in black and white, I think. I don't know why. It just screams like it needs to be a black and white game on TV, but I am going Spain to finish the trifecta.
There we go.
I don't know why. It just something about it screams black and white TV.
Fox, please.
Give Pooch what he wants. USA versus Bosnia. I mean, I'm going the US here. What are you guys going? I don't think we even have to ask.
Don't even have to ask. Stars and Stripes, Eagles. beers and burgers. We're moving on to the next round.
Pooch, finish the trifecta.
Thank God you asked me, USA.
And then final game of this side of the bracket, at least round of 32 here. Belgium, Senegal, another really good game here. Pooch, I'm going to throw it over to you, our AFCON expert. What did you take?
Belgium, too bad. Not
Ooh,
good enough.
ooh.
Got me a
Senegal
little
for the
bit.
win.
He got me too. I wasn't expecting that. Rubes, who did you have in this one? Did you agree with Pooch?
I did go with Senegal as well. I think even in that first match where they lost against France, they didn't look terrible. I think Belgium, like you said, have kind of been relying on Courtois at this stage. I think Senegal is going to get a big win for their country.
I couldn't agree more. I've also gone with Senegal here. I think Belgium, like we said, right, probably had an easier group, got through a little bit by the skin of their teeth. I think Senegal, on the other hand, had a really difficult group, played well, couldn't get the results, which you still need to get them, but they couldn't. They got through, they found their way. I think this is a game that Senegal wins. As a USA fan, I'm not looking forward to USA Senegal. USA are going to have a tough run here, but we'll move over to the other side. Harubi, you know we're going to start with you. Brazil versus Japan. Two countries that Harubi loves. He loves sushi. He loves carnival and Brazilian women. We know where you went. Don't even have to tell us. Who'd you go with?
Yeah, I did still go with the Brazilians, but I am extremely nervous about this game. The same pit I had in my stomach before the Morocco game, I have in my stomach for this game, meaning easily could be an extra time game, maybe could even go to pens, but I can't imagine the dream ends here. I'm going to go with Brazil.
Pooch, who'd you go with here?
Just put an advertising under this huge fanfic incoming.
Okay.
This game screams Brazil win on PKs with Endrick and Neymar scoring the winners of PKs. And then people like Harubi on Twitter and Instagram putting stories up saying the present and the future, like in a black and white
Yeah.
photo of the two.
Oh, you just
Um,
cooked up. You just cooked up something so magical.
I told you.
Harubi's so
And Ethan,
shameless, man.
for months you've been wondering my pooch fanfics. That's the audience for them. Those are the-
That's it right there. Harubi was the one driving in his car at work every day and thinking, "Oh, I love this Pooch fanfic." Good stuff. I've also gone Brazil here. I think this Japanese team is decent. I just think the Brazilian team, as long as the stars are firing, not an easy round, but I think they're
yeah,
going to take care of it.
real quick, the thing with Japan is they always give one team a fright in what used to be the round of 16, now the round of 32. I think this is it. Like, I think they give Brazil a fright where they're like, oh, we have to be on our P's and Q's for the rest of the tournament. And I think it will happen.
They definitely beat Brazil a few years back. I can't remember the exact scenario, but it did happen. I think this is
Yeah,
a different Brazil team for sure. I don't think it'll play out exactly like that. But definitely, I would say that and the Morocco Netherlands were the two toughest for me to call.
Ivory Coast, Norway. Let's move on to another really difficult one here. Pooch, what do we think?
Norway really
Yeah,
want to go Ivory Coast, but Holland is in, he's inevitable.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've gone with Norway. You saw Rubes. He's going Norway. He was doing the Holland celebration. I think Norway in general, they've played really well, even without Holland on the field, right? In their final group stage match, they played really, really well. This is a team that is probably the dark horse, right? We talk about Turkey being the dark horse. They obviously struggle. Yeah, we're doing the row in the stands. They've probably been the dark horse. I think a lot of people kind of predicted them to, but didn't want to, because when you have a star like Holland, you never want to make that team a dark horse per se. But he's doing things that Lewandowski maybe couldn't with Poland. I see a lot of similarities there, where Lewandowski was the star on kind of more of a Nordic country that's struggling, doing the same thing with Norway, but he's actually getting them further and probably has a little bit more support. All right, cool. Moving on. Next matchup here, Mexico, Ecuador. For me, I think Ecuador, they found a little bit of rhythm. They're riding the momentum from that game against Germany. Give me Ecuador here to beat Mexico.
I agree. We've been so critical of them. They found just enough momentum. They're going to beat Mexico.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that's going to help in the next game. But Pooch, give me yours. Mexico, Ecuador.
Yeah, I think this quadrant right here, this game and then the next game is the toughest quadrant that there is in the round of 32-16. It's not a joke. I think all four teams are really good and will give each other issues. I picked Mexico
Okay.
because once again, like I've been saying for weeks at this point, I still, even if they found their goal scorer Ecuador, I don't trust it. Mexico, I don't think they're the best team ever to walk the earth, but it's going to be a home game at
They've been
Azteca.
consistent.
Yep.
80,000 people, all Mexicans cheering on their team. Like, it's what, a night? I think it'll be a night game-ish. I think it's what, 6 p.m. their time.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna be out. No, it matters. They're gonna be out all day drinking.
Sounds like Saturday night at Death Valley at LSU or something.
That's what it's gonna be like. That's what's gonna be like. And I just think if it was a team like a France or a Brazil quality going in there, I would be like, yes. But a team like Ecuador, will they be defensive and play well defensively? Yes. It's going to be like a 1-0 Mexico win. I just don't think that they have the goals in them to beat Mexico at home in front of 80,000 Mexicans.
And you're staying consistent to your takes. I like that.
I'm with it. I totally get it. This was a tough one for me, but like I said, I went with Ecuador. I just think that they found a little bit of rhythm. They just beat Germany, and I agree with you when it comes to the home match and the home game atmosphere, but I do think at some point, and I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but I think at some point that can only carry you so far. And I think this Mexico team has probably been carried. Maybe they win one more, but I think they're going to go as far as they can in this. Final game on this.
I disagree heavy, but I'm not going to.
On this quadrant, England versus Dr. Congo DR.
I'm gonna go to... What does Pooch think? Pooch, what do you think?
Yeah, Pooch, why don't you give it to us? This is the most interesting take here.
You would never go against CAF.
Yeah, you would never go against the CAF.
That'd be so obnoxious of you.
Yeah. Go ahead, make your pick.
I went Dr. Congo.
I could check your bracket. Do I need to check your bracket?
You could check. I went Dr. Congo.
I'm gonna check his bracket as we're speaking.
Check his bracket. Let's see. Let's catch him red-handed.
Let's catch this man red-handed.
Okay, I went England.
Okay. Thank you.
I went England. But to my point, if we're still discussing Wissa in a Golden Boot conversation,
we are not.
Sadiqa,
you are. We are not.
If he outplays Kane in this game, you're golden.
We're having the conversation right now.
We are not. You are.
No, it's a conversation. We're discussing it. I think Wissa is in the Golden Boot conversation. Your thoughts?
Absolutely not. Moving on.
Okay, that's a conversation. We just had a conversation.
Chat, who do we think is better, Harry Kane or Wissa?
Drop the. Well, to be fair, we've never seen Wissa get cursed, and has he performed under a curse? We've never seen that.
That's true too.
I think all three of us took England here, and. Listen, I think Congo DR, they're a pretty decent squad, but I think this is probably end of the road. England struggled. They did struggle a bit against Ghana, but I think they'll figure it out. They obviously also playing with some injuries. No one could have foresaw Reece James and Livramento not being fit.
Yeah.
So it makes sense not bring Lewis Hall or any fullback.
Even the Arsenal boys, like Declan is a little banged up. Saka's been banged up, finally came in the last game. England do have those injury worries.
But real quick, but at least Saka and Rice are playing through it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Saka doesn't start, though. But yes, Rice is playing through.
Rice got hooked in the first game because Tuchel said he looked off.
Game.
We will save this for the fall. Argentina versus Cabo Verde.
Argentina.
It's Argentina here. My parents will be at this game. They were hoping for Uruguay. Uruguay shit the bed. I said, you know what? You're getting better. You're getting Vozinha. You're getting Messi versus Vozinha. How can you not be romantic about footy? Moving on, Egypt versus Australia. Interesting matchup. Honestly, this is an interesting one. I took Egypt. I think Australia got a little lucky going through.
Mo Salah.
And I think Egypt are going to go through here, and Egypt got very lucky with their draw as well, in my opinion. Any takes from there?
Bang on.
Mohamed Pensala is going to score a pen. That's
fair enough. Switzerland versus Algeria. This, I feel like, is going to be a quiet banger of a game. I did take Switzerland, but I do think this will be a decent game. I think Algeria can give them some problems. I think our guy, Yohan Manzambi, is going to play well. And I just think Switzerland's a step above Algeria, just a bit. What do you think, Pooch?
So normally in these situations, I pick a Switzerland. They've also ruined me multiple times where I pick them thinking, oh, they'll make the quarterfinals or round of 16 because they're good enough. And then they just shit the bed. I picked them again. So I'm not.
I was going to say I'm on your bracket looking at it because I feel like I can't trust you. You picked Switzerland, so I did not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just learning. Like I'm not learning from my mistakes. This game and then the following game were probably the two where I spent like 5 minutes on, just like being like clicking back and forth between them, being like, they're toss ups in my head.
Okay. Ruby, are you in lockstep here, or have you gone with Algeria?
I'm going Switzerland. I think Algeria is gonna have little bit of that bad voodoo after trying to rig that last match and play for, "Ooh, we want an easier opponent." I'm gonna go with Switzerland.
Fair enough. And then final game here, Colombia versus Ghana. Maybe another quiet banger here. You may look at it and go, all right, decent game. I think that this was a tricky one for me to pick. I did end up going Colombia myself. I think that they've been in better form. I think Ghana hasn't shown me too much. They've had flashes in games. They haven't shown me too much. Colombia, though, has been a little bit of a surprise of the tournament for me. I thought they may struggle. They just beat, they just drew Ronaldo. No, they beat Portugal.
True.
They did draw. Okay, I was right. They just drew Ronaldo in Portugal. They looked very good, and at points, they looked like the better team. Maybe
And
for
they won
most
the
of the game.
group.
And they won the group. I'm going Colombia. What are you going here, Rubes? It sounds like you kind of have your pick right there.
Yeah, I was impressed that they topped the group. Had such high hopes for Portugal going into this World Cup. Colombia ended up stealing that group, looked extremely solid even in the last match. Not too many holes, and James Rodriguez has been actually able to play creative football. Everyone's working hard around him. I think they'll pull that out.
Fair enough. Pooch, staying that way, or you're going with CAF?
Yeah, hand up real quick. I want to apologize for saying Colombia would come in fourth in the group stage.
Yeah, you were
I
big on
really
that.
I really misread the situation with the president's daughter and the handshakes. That one's on me. Um, I should have known that Colombians historically hate their president, and that's actually
Mm,
a sign that the team's locked in to the tournament and not the opposite way around. So I chose Colombia to kind of right that wrong there.
okay. Hey, nice guy. Hey, we love accountability. We are an
Yeah.
accountability podcast. We've
Hand up.
always put up hand up, maybe two hands up, depending on the situation. Moving over to the round of 16. In our first game, maybe the best game of the round of 16. I want to almost say best game of the tournament because we're obviously going to have a final and some other big ones. France versus Germany. Who are you guys taking here? I'm going to throw it over to Rubes. Why don't you give us your first take?
I still think France is too talented, too good. When I talk about how they remind me of that O2 Brazil team, O2 Brazil had 4 Ballon d'Or winners. If I look at this French team and all their careers ended, is just so ridiculous to think that Dembele would end with one, Mbappe would end with one, Olise could end with one, and then maybe you have a Doué or somebody else step up. Uh, Germany impressed me in the first round, but I go with the French.
Cool. Pooch, what are your thoughts here?
5-1 France.
Wow. I
I
don't
think
think.
no Schlotterbeck. I think Brown. I think he's hurt right now.
Okay.
Maybe not like being he. I don't know how he'll be feeling come July 4th, but I don't know. I just don't trust Manuel Neuer at 40 years old in net. It feels like even in the Champions League this year, it was very hit or miss. He either looks like 25-year-old Manuel Neuer or he looks like 45-year-old Manuel Neuer. So
I
I
agree.
don't know. I think the French attack is just going to run rampant against this German defense.
Yeah, I think this France team is going to be hard to beat for anybody in this tournament. They are probably on paper the best team, right? Just man for man. That being said, I've taken France over Germany. I do feel for Germany. They got very unlucky with the fact that they have France right here. This is probably the most difficult round of 16 game outside of maybe Spain, Portugal, which we'll get into. But yeah, I've taken France here. I think Germany will put up a fight, but I just think France have looked unstoppable. Moving over. Netherlands or Canada. We all took Netherlands. We obviously all took Canada here. For me, this was easy. This is where the Canadian run ends. I have taken the Netherlands. And to be fair, I think this is a huge success for Canada to make it to the round of 16. They've shown out. They've had a really good World Cup, but I think this Netherlands team is just too strong for them. And to be fair, Canada has not looked good, especially against South Africa today. I'm going with the Netherlands here. Pooch, you're our Netherlands guy.
Netherlands.
Yeah, easy enough.
Next guy.
Rubes.
Next Rubes.
Lock in the Dutch.
Yeah, easy enough. We will move on. This was my final when I made my initial bracket before everything started. This was my final. Spain versus Portugal. I've, of course, again, right? I'm repping my people. It's an Iberian Peninsula war.
Peninsula.
It's an absolute war here. Me versus one of our close friends and reoccurring guest, Sosa. I'm taking Spain here. I think Portugal. Spain and Portugal are on very similar paths early on, right? Struggling in the first game, showing out in the second. What I saw from Portugal in the third game versus what I saw from Spain in the third game, Spain were in a literal fist fight and they struggled. Portugal, though, just do not look like they have a cohesion to them, in my opinion. I think they may struggle here. This is really a toss-up game, but of course, I'm going to go with Spain here. Rubes, what do you think?
I think the way you broke it down is perfect. The tournament started similar for both teams. Coming into the tournament, I had similar outlooks because I was so impressed with both teams' midfield. But from what I've seen, Spain just have a little bit extra to them. I think when Lamine did come back, it was such a game changer
Yeah.
for the Spanish compared to Portugal. Is essentially the same team that we saw at the start of the tournament. I have Spain winning that match.
Pooch, what do you got here? I see the smile. Go ahead. Say some dumb shit.
There's an age-old question. Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
I'm going to go no.
Roberto Martinez, you cannot be taught any new tricks. You're losing again with a really good team in a round of 16. Have fun, brother. Enjoy the
Yeah.
beach.
The,
Enjoy
the
La Playa.
to be fair too, like, don't get me wrong, if Portugal lose this game, most people, you can't blame Portugal in a sense. It's obviously, again, a 50-50 game. You can't be super upset. But the biggest failure for Portugal is the fact that you did not win your group, so you have to
Yeah.
play this game, right?
Yeah.
And listen, if you win the game, great. You knock out. I've always thought like it's almost better to have a harder run because you get to knock out some of the better teams early. So maybe your final is a little bit easier. But in this case, like, what a failure from Portugal to now put yourself in such a difficult position moving
When they
forward.
won the Euros, they did have that really bad group stage where they barely
True.
qualified. So at least with the personalities they have, it's possible they could have a shock in the knockouts. I just think Spain, maybe I'm still thinking about the Euros, but there's too much there.
Well, going back real quick, and we'll move on to the next one. You got to remember that Euros that they won was 2016. That was over 10 years ago. So we're talking about personalities. It's really kind of Ronaldo, right? Like, they're the new coaching staff, a bunch of new players, but I hear what you're saying. But moving on, we will move over to the next one. USA versus Senegal. This is going to be a tricky one here. I'm going to throw this over to Pooch. He is a Senegalese fan. He's also an American. Pooch, what are your thoughts on this one? I know this wasn't fun for you to pick.
Yeah, this was a rock and a hard place. This was
Yeah.
probably the toughest game I've had to go over in my head. I really wished that Senegal got the second place, which I
Yep.
thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
So this wouldn't have to happen. But sometimes you just got to pick your country over your love for other things. I think General Dwight D. Eisenhower said that. Please don't fact check it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Um,
enough. He
and
may
I
have
picked
said
the
it. You don't know.
US.
He may have said it.
But
Doubt
definitely
it.
don't go and fact check.
Yeah,
Don't-
definitely,
He may not have
definitely-
said it in a spot where like a
Well,
speech. He may have just said it in
yeah.
his everyday life. You know
maybe,
what I mean?
Maybe it was Ted Kennedy that said it. Definitely don't type Ted Kennedy car into river.
Maybe it's
Yeah, we're not
Hiroki Ito.
So okay. Pooch took the USA. I'm in lockstep with Pooch there. In a 50-50, I'm going to take my bias. Rubes, who did you take here?
Yeah, it's so tough. I'm going to go 55% USA, 45 Senegal. We keep saying it's the best USA team we've seen. I still don't think this is quite on the caliber of beating a Spain, a Brazil,
Of
and
course.
Argentina, but Senegal is an extremely strong group. We saw how well
Mhm.
they played in the
Yep.
African
Good
Cup
points.
of
Yeah.
Nations, the
Really
way they
good
pulled
points.
it through in that
Yeah.
last game. But USA just was too
Yeah.
impressive to
No,
me,
they are strong.
and I'm gonna go with USA.
All good there. Totally
Great
agree with
points.
you. Great points, by the way, you made there. I don't know if the audio is going to go through, but Harubi totally just lagged, but that's okay. Moving over to the other side of the bracket, we all had Brazil versus Norway, another tricky one. I'm going to start here. I took Brazil over Norway. I really wanted to take Norway. I did, but I do think there is just a little bit of a class above it's Brazil. I didn't know if Brazil was going to make it this far to a quarterfinal, but because of the way that things have shaken up, I think they do make it. I'm going to throw it over to our Brazilian expert, Rubes. What do you think here, Rubes?
I'm gonna go Brazil. I think more well-rounded team compared to Norway. Norway was super impressive in the
Mhm.
group stages, but I'm gonna stick with my gut and go with Brazil.
No problem. Pooch, what did you take here? Brazil, Norway.
Yeah. I picked Norway.
Okay. I think that's our
I
first disagreement.
think I also had Mexico over Ecuador, which
That's
I
right.
highly, yeah. Um, I yeah, I don't know what it is. I just think that this Norway team, there is a bit more of cohesion, even though they don't have the star names that you think of. I think they're just more youthful too in the midfield, which I think is important. I don't trust Paquetá and Casemiro against in Odegaard, Berge, and then Usnes. I don't know how to pronounce his name,
You're good.
but it's from
Souness.
Yeah, Arsunis from
Hard
Benfica.
worker.
Um, yeah, I think that's where this game for me lies heavily. I think if Brazil, if those guys, if Casemiro, yeah, if Casemiro can turn back the clock a bit, and look like he did like 10 years ago for just 90 minutes, Brazil win. But I just don't see that happening, and I just think that their midfield will be better than Brazil's. And then they have Holland up top, who I think is a more consistent goal scorer than a Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. feels like he's very much sometimes like it pulls something out of nothing when there's no chances created, which is great. But Norway, it feels like Holland can do the same thing. And on top of that is a more clinical finisher. So
Fair enough.
I got Norway.
Fair enough. Moving over. England versus Ecuador. Rubes, I'll start with you. England or Ecuador? Who'd you take here?
I'm going to go England. I think they're just too strong a nation for Ecuador at this point. Even if Ecuador make it this far, it would be a huge win and impressive for them. But I do think England will get the job done.
Fair enough. Pooch, you had England actually versus Mexico. Did you stay lockstep? You just took England here?
Yeah, I did. For all the reasons that I said, Mexico will get through against Ecuador. I think England is the team in that bracket of like a France, Brazil, Spain, where they're just too good of a team.
Yeah.
Even with 80,000 Mexicans at the Azteca screaming. So England.
Totally agree. I've went with England here over Ecuador myself. I think this Ecuador team, like I said, very good defensively, but they're just not going to be able to beat England. I think this England team is very strong. Let's move over to the bottom quadrant. Argentina versus Egypt. I will start with Rubes. Rubes, Argentina and Egypt. Yeah, we're all going. Chos. Go ahead, Rubes. Give us a quick song.
Ahora no volvimos ilusionar. Quiero ganar la tercera. Quiero ser campeón mundial. Ya llegó. En el cielo lo podemos ver. Con Don Diego y con la Tota. Alentando a Lionel.
The fact you've memorized it's hilarious. We're all going Argentina, I think, here. Pooch, any disagreement? I know you're a big
Nope,
CAF guy.
none.
Good. I've got Argentina. This was pretty easy for me, and they've got a pretty easy first two games, in my opinion. We'll see. Maybe Cabo Verde gives them a hard one. But moving over, we have Colombia versus Switzerland. Now that Colombia, we've seen the way they play, I think in my initial brackets, I probably took Switzerland to win this game. Personally, I've gone with Colombia here. Switzerland hasn't wildly impressed me. Colombia, I feel like, is playing with a little bit of a passion and firepower. This was one of my big 50-50 games. I ended up sticking with Colombia here. What did you do, Pooch?
Colombia.
Yeah, nice
Same
and
as you.
easy. Rubes?
Colombia. Colombia.
The delay is awesome because it's just you don't hear anything and all of a sudden, Colombia. I'm leaving that in. That's awesome. This is just
funny.
us. This is
It's not good for the video.
It'll
But
be
it's
okay.
funny.
Don't worry. Let's move over now to our quarterfinals. Our first quarterfinal here, France versus the Netherlands. This is a massive game. I am going to throw it back over to Pooch again. Pooch, you've had the Netherlands. You've taken them as your champion pre-tournament. They've looked good during the tournament. What did you take here?
Well, normally when you have an agenda, you have to stick with said agenda. So I'm gonna stick with said agenda. In my heart of hearts, France probably beat Netherlands,
Okay.
but I have an agenda to keep, and I'm gonna keep it rolling. And the Netherlands are beating France.
Rubes?
Seems like he's already wavering on that agenda. His heart of
Uh-oh.
hearts doesn't feel it. I picked France before the tournament. I'm continuing to pick France now. In my heart of hearts, I think France will win it.
Okay, redo on mine real quick. I think
Keep it in, keep
France.
it in.
Yeah,
I
there's no
think
cuts.
France. No. Like run it back. Let me respond to that.
Yeah.
I think France is a bullshit team, a bullshit country. They
No one
sit
works there.
there. They sit there and they just smoke cigarettes all day and they pray to a tower. Kind of weird if you ask me, Eiffel.
Oh,
Kind of weird. They also in World War One and World War Two got dogged and run over. The Dutch definitely did as well, but they had a little pushback at least. The Dutch's flag is cooler.
Kylian
It's just the same
Mbappe,
shit as France,
Desiree
but cooler.
Doué. Michael Elise,
Vincent van
Ousmane
Gogh,
Ballon
Virgil
d'Or,
van
said
Dijk.
Vincent
Stanley
Van Gogh.
Barcola,
He said
N'Golo
Vincent.
Kante.
Let me ask you a question. Did Ted Lasso film a season or an episode in France talking about, oh, we're going up against PSG? No, they went to Amsterdam and got high on shrooms in that episode. So you want to know what? It's Netherlands all day.
We can't do Ted
what else
Lasso.
is France? What else is France called? It's just France. Oh, France. Oh, France. You got the Dutch. You got the Netherlands. You got Belgium or Belgium's older brother.
Okay.
I was like, they
just
are
gonna say
separate
Belgium.
countries.
All right. I'm also going Rubes. I've also gone France here, but at some point there's going to have to be an upset, right? Like at some point in this tournament, it might be earlier, it might be here. You never know. I could totally see the Netherlands, maybe with their defense. You have experience with Van Dijk. You have Van Hecke.
I can't believe I followed you through the depths of hell with Spain, and this is how you're going to do me?
Me?
Yeah, you. You think I'm talking to the Chelsea fan?
Yeah, no,
he doesn't know. He doesn't know Dutch if it was put right in front of his face. But
wow.
you, being a Barca fan, backing Frankie de Jong.
Yeah, you're right.
And
Mickey,
we've had Holla and Arjen Robben.
Okay. Hold on. The Dutch are talking right now. Let's speak in Dutch.
He picked France. He just picked France.
I can't change my bracket. I picked who I picked.
I'm grilling them on
but I just said I could see this happening. I went with France because I went with my heart of hearts. Unlike some people,
that's like patting somebody on the head and saying, like, you'll get there one day, buddy. The Dutch are going to pull through in this one.
All right, fair enough.
France don't even have a cool
They're
dance
going to lose in
games.
extra time or pens like they always do. Like, it won't be in regulation. It's going to be...
Like they always do? Do you remember Tim Krul, 2010?
That's true.
Like they always do?
Ruby wasn't a soccer fan yet.
I'm just saying they haven't lost in regulation in the last couple World Cup tournaments. Even when they lose, it eventually has to be in extra time or pens. I think they're a really good team, just a step below the French for me.
All right. Hey, this game might have to become a live stream game that we sit down and live stream this to just see these two. We're going to have to get Rubes of France jersey the way he's backing them. I just said they were going to win. Moving over.
Ruby loves the French.
Yeah, they're just so good. I love watching this team. I enjoy watching this team.
Okay, that's fair to say. Let's move over to our other quarterfinal, Spain versus USA. This, for me, was something I was trying to avoid with everything in me. I'm not going to cap. I've gone Spain, obviously. Like, that's who I'm repping. But I just so wish this was France or someone else, and I would just so blindly be like, USA. I've gone with Spain. I just think this is the USA ceiling, is this quarterfinal. They've maybe been a bit unlucky to get them in a quarterfinal, maybe versus some other teams. I guess maybe not. All these teams are good, but it's already going to be a difficult road for the US to get here. We're seeing some of the fitness of these guys are being put to the test. I'm going to take Spain here over USA, but I will say I'm going to the semifinal that this quarterfinal leads to. One way or another, I'm ideally going to see one of my teams, so I will take it. I'm going to go to Rubes here. Rubes, Spain or USA? Who did you take?
If we get that far, you will hear me the week of saying USA is going to win it. USA is going to win the World Cup, but we're not there yet, so I'm not fully delusional. I still did have my brain.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I had to go with Spain. I think, again, I want to see USA take down a top dog. That's the type of game I want us to be in and eventually win. But if I had to make a prediction, it's still Spain.
Fair enough. Pooch, you were a big guy saying we have to make the semifinals. That's the expectation. So this is your chance.
Yeah, I had Spain up until about a minute and a half ago, and now I'm fully
No, you can't change your bracket.
Too late.
You can't change your bracket.
Too late. Too late.
Our viewers
Too
can
late.
see what your bracket
Yeah,
is.
you are.
Too late.
Honestly,
I don't care. Too
no,
late.
that's some of the worst flip-flopping I've ever seen in my life.
No,
All right.
USA.
That's
USA.
fine. Stand up. This guy does not stand on business.
I don't stand on business. For 2 days straight before this, you kept texting me saying, I think the Dutch can beat France. I think the Dutch
never
can beat
said
France.
that. I never said that. I never said that.
And then on this podcast episode, you're sitting here going, oh, I love the Eiffel Tower. I want to wear one of those berets there.
I never said that.
Oh, my God.
First off, I've been to both countries, loved them both. Amsterdam was incredible. Paris was, a lot of people say Paris is shit. Paris is beautiful. I would like to see the Netherlands win. But at the end of the day, I'm a ball knower, and I take my ball
No,
knower takes.
Well, Ethan
I
did
would
message me. He asked me, "What is your beret size? I want to order us matching hats." So he definitely is obsessed with France.
See, he's giving us two different things, Rubes, because for 2 days
But I
before
do
this,
think
he's like Van Hecke's so good. Oh my God, him and Van de Ven and Spurs jerseys are awesome. Oh, this is so great. And now he's texting you talking about beret sizes.
this is our podcast. If we tell the viewers Pooch picked USA, how are they going to change his mind? Like, Pooch picked USA.
He was an accident, I guess. I'm taking Spain. Wow, this is kind of off the rails. This is what happens when we start going for 3 hours. Let's move over to England versus Brazil. I've taken England here. This was a tricky one, but I do think England are a stronger team, in my opinion. I'm going to go over it again to our Brazilian. I've let him get his first take in on all this. What do you got here, Rubes? England versus Brazil.
I will be rooting with my full heart for Brazil, but I think England come out of this game with the win. I think a bit more of a complete team. I think they would win this in a straight head-to-head.
Pooch, why don't you verbally assault him now? Why don't you verbally assault him now for going against it and all that? Or no, that...
Well,
I've been saying France.
I didn't have Brazil.
Who did you have, Pooch? You had England,
Norway.
Okay.
England, Norway.
And you took
England.
Okay, fair enough. But why don't you assault him for going against his heart and all that, and saying that he's trying to buy English tea and crumpets?
Real quick. Harubi's the one that brought up the heart stuff. I said in my heart of hearts, I think France is going to win, and he immediately went, "Oh, there's a guy that's wavering. That's not in his heart of hearts."
That's a sign of weakness.
I've picked the Dutch from the beginning before the tournament started to now till the end. They are my team. I'm rocking with them.
That's fair.
And for somebody to come at me for that,
that's fair. Well, we're just going based on what you actually had on your bracket, but that's fair. I will
USA.
Okay, that's fine. That being said, I mean, for someone who's been repping Brazil the whole time, this is a little sad, Ruby. Why don't you just back your team, live and die? Like, you can't go to a parade now if they win.
Agreed.
I will root for them. I said I would cheer for them.
You can't go to whatever bar you've been going to. And
give it a second.
He might be in Brazil right now, the way this Wi-Fi is going.
How was Sao Paulo?
I just heard it.
Very good.
I just heard it. I just heard the delay. We will just cut that, and I'll just go. Ruby, you can't go to a Brazil parade or the bar you've been going to if you're going to say that you picked England in that game.
Cheering for Brazil, I went with my brain on this.
It's the delay.
The delay is insane. He's going to react right now. He's going to react in 20 minutes. Let's talk about the... Don't moan about it. It's okay. Let's move over to our other quarterfinal. This is good content. Argentina versus Colombia, I believe, right? Pooch, you had Colombia too. I think Karubi did. Yeah. I've taken Argentina here. I think Colombia has got a very lucky draw to get this far. I think Argentina, this is actually a very nice quarterfinal. Argentina got such a nice side of the bracket, by the way. They could have been seeing Portugal in a quarterfinal. Instead, seeing Colombia. Colombia did just draw Portugal, but we will see. Rubes, who'd you have in this one? Argentina?
Argentina.
Good. Just wanted to make sure you weren't on the delay there. All righty. So our semifinals are set. For me, it's Spain versus France. For Pooch, it's Spain versus USA. He's changed it to USA.
No, I'll change it back for ease.
Oh, thank you. Well, it is Spain versus Netherlands.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Ruby has Spain versus France, and then on the other side, I think we all have Argentina versus England, if that's correct. Who wants to start here? I mean, maybe I could start with Spain versus France. This is one of those games that's difficult, but I have to trust my Spaniards. I have to trust Lamine Yamal wanting to go and shut Kylian Mbappe up again, wanting to shut up Rabiot from the last Euros again. If Spain's made it this far, if Spain is playing it the way that we know, I'm taking Spain to win here off partially the power of friendship. Secondly, off the fact that I do think when they're playing their style of footy, they look like a club team, not a national team. And for that reason, I'm taking Spain. As you could probably assume, they're probably going to win another game too, potentially. Rubes, you also had Spain, France here. Why don't you take me through what you had in mind?
Give me the French. I think it was a very good game in the Euros. I like your point about how Spain play as a club team, but this is international football. I think the stars have been coming out all summer, and they're going to come out during these knockouts. France is going to pull this one through and get back to another World Cup final. Kylian Mbappe loves this tournament.
All right. Pooch, you had Spain versus Netherlands. Did you take your team into the final?
Yes.
Okay.
Dutch over the Spanish. I think Brian Brobby is gonna be having Pau Cubarsí and Americ Laporte seeing ghosts. Laporte isn't
Wow.
even Spanish, so he shouldn't be allowed to play for them.
I don't know if we want to play that game.
Yeah, I don't.
I was going to say, I don't know if we want to play that game with Brian Broby. That is not a Dutch
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Daniel Malen. No, I just think that the midfield of the Dutch is better and the defense is better. I think Yamin will be having fits going against Mickey
Yeah,
Van de
mean.
Ven. Um, I don't think
Poor
Yamal can.
Larry.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
Larry. Yeah, that's a throwback. Funny enough, I just looked at Brian Broby. I've cleared his name. He was actually born and raised in Amsterdam for Ajax's academy. So fair enough. All right, moving over to the other side. So I have Spain. Ruby has France in the final, and Pooch has Netherlands on that side. All three very possible. We'll leave up to the final now.
I mean, real quick.
We do the other
I think,
semifinal.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, I think that side of the bracket, the reason why we have three different teams is I think it's just the tougher side in general.
Without a doubt.
I
I
think
agree.
that side is just, you could see it going any which way, not because all the teams are bad, but just because there are so many good teams. Like, we literally left Portugal in the dust in the round of 16.
Germany in
Like,
the dust.
Germany
Yeah.
in the dust. Like, it's just loaded that side of the bracket.
100%. Let's move back over to we'll call it the easier side, maybe the side of life. We all had Argentina versus England in the semifinal. I'm going to start with Rubes. Who have you taken here in your final?
This was probably the game I debated the most in my head over this whole bracket. I think Argentina have impressed me more than England so far this World Cup. However, I have England going through to the World Cup final.
Wow.
I'm worried about some of the injuries. There's been some question marks on the team, but curses are now lifted. Argentina already won the last World Cup. I'm a massive, massive believer in Thomas Tuchel. I think he finds a way to get this done in the knockouts, shock the world, and beat Argentina.
Wow. Pooch, what did you have there? And Rubes, that is some good storytelling.
I think it's very good to look back at the last time these two teams met at a semifinal and go from there. The last time they met at a World Cup semifinal, there was this little known man named Diego Maradona, who famously punched a ball into the net. It won't happen again, but the result will. I think Argentina moved through.
I follow suit with you, Pooch. I think Argentina, the way they've played so far, and you never know, things could change, right, throughout the knockouts. The way they've played so far, having an easier route as well to get to this game, I just think they have more and more time to perfect what their style of play, maybe get to beat up on some easier opponents. I'm taking Argentina here. The way that Messi is playing right now, I'd argue that he is still the best player in the world, right? He is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I think when he moved over to the MLS, a lot of people probably made the statement, all right, maybe Mbappe is the best, Haaland, maybe you're already starting to make the argument of Lamine Yamal. If you want to make an argument for Dembele, you can, but I don't know what the argument is other than a award voted on by French football.
I just feel like Argentina tried to be more physical than every other team they play. I don't think they faced a midfield like England or a team like England where they bring similar pace and power.
I think that's totally fair. And I think you would say probably, again, player for player, England's a better team. But again, Argentina for me almost plays like a club team in the fact like you have a lot of similar players from the last World Cup. You have players from the last Copa America win. You have Messi playing at the best of his ability. And for me, England, I also think we at times maybe even overrate their players a little bit because we all watch the Premier League. It's the most popular league. You see Elliot Anderson going for 115 million pounds to City, which not to say he's not a great player, but it's also to say, I think there's players that are probably comparable to him that, maybe if you're talking about value. But my point being here is I think this Argentina team, they just play a style. They play, like you said, physical, and they will die for Messi. I don't know. England has struggles against Ghana, some of the smaller teams, and I'm not sure. We'll see. I mean, again, it's why we do this. It's a flip of a coin. You never know what can happen on game day. A penalty, a stupid red card, something like that changes everything. I went with my guy Messi. I have the final of Spain versus Argentina. So, Pooch, your final is Netherlands, Argentina, and then Rubes, yours is France, Argentina for another one. I'm going to throw it over to Pooch here. Netherlands versus Argentina. Who are you taking here? I think we all know. Here you go.
It's a rivalry as old as time.
Wow.
Netherlands, Argentina. We all know
Okay.
what happened last World Cup between these two teams. It's a big rivalry in the international scene. I think the Netherlands can do what the Minnesota Vikings can never do, and that's win a World Cup.
Throwing a shot at the Vikings.
Well, they're the
That's
same
hilarious.
team. When we mentioned it earlier in the
Yeah.
episode where we said they've lost 3 World Cup finals, it is like the Minnesota Vikings or the Buffalo Bills going to like 3 or 4 Super Bowls and never winning.
Yeah.
But I think this is the year that they do it. My agenda is here. I feel like I'm the only one maybe sticking to my agenda throughout this tournament. So
Fair enough. Rubes, England versus France. This is not just a soccer rivalry. This is a political rivalry. Obviously, allies nowadays, but obviously the English don't like the French. The French don't like the English. We've seen it in history books. What are you taking here?
The scenes would be unreal. It would be nuts to see the England fans actually buy in again. If they made it to the finals, the football's coming home memes would be back stronger than ever before. We've seen them lose in finals recently before in the Euros. And as much as I love Thomas Tuchel, as much as I love that team, I am sticking with the French.
Wow.
In a tournament like this, I look at the players. I think you have a back line kind of led by Saliba and Upamecano, so solid. Midfield, where you have different types of profiles, whether it's Chouameni, Rabiot, Kante, Zaire Emery, Kone, whoever's playing there, they're all so solid. And then an attack where even if somebody went down, you wouldn't freak out and think all of a sudden, oh, if Messi goes down, you don't think Argentina is going to make the final. If Harry Kane goes down, you don't necessarily believe in England. France, I really think could survive any unexpected scares during the knockouts and really have different players that can step up on different days. Earlier in the tournament, it was Mbappe. In the final game, it was Dembele. I think this is a team that gets over the line and wins another World Cup.
Fair enough. France have looked extremely impressive. We've obviously glazed them enough on this podcast. I'm obviously going Spain versus Argentina. This is, as a Barca fan, a game that breaks my heart because you're going Messi versus Lamine. You have to pick somebody to be sad. I'm obviously going to, again, rep Spain, rep my motherland. I think that, for me, watching Lamine Yamal be able to win a World Cup, watching the Spain team, guys, Pedri, Kubarsi, I think this is a team that could do it. I think that Argentina team, obviously with Messi, would be incredible, but I need to get my guy Lamine one. I'm going with my motherland there, but that would be a really difficult game for me, similar to USA, Spain, some of those. But yeah, I mean, we've all taken some different ones. So again, Pooch's champion is Netherlands. Harubi's is France. Mine is Spain here. Let us know in the comments, who are you guys taking? Maybe what are a game that maybe we overlooked? Maybe we all took somebody that you disagreed with. Is there a dark horse that we're missing? Maybe is there a favorite that we disrespected? Maybe Germany. Maybe me and Harubi disrespected Netherlands. Is Morocco going to pull off the win on the Netherlands early? Sorry, Pooch, and make a run themselves? We have a lot of awesome games here ahead of us. Let us know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, help us grow the account. We're going to continue coming out with more and more content just like this.
Morocco wins. We are wearing our fezzes on the next podcast.
We're going to have to
rub the salt in Pooch's wounds.
Wow.
And if they don't, I want you to, for a minute and a half on the next podcast, explain to me why Vincent van Gogh is the best painter of all time.
Oh, why he has to do that?
Because I have to wear a fez.
Oh, if you wear, I didn't realize you were going to wear it too. That's fair. I like that bet.
They lost. Yeah,
I like that. That's a good bet.
Yeah.
Is that a handshake bet agreement?
That's a handshake for me.
It's a handshake bet. I mean, I don't know about a minute and a half on Van Gogh. Can we do like 30 seconds?
No, minute and a half.
Uncut? Ethan will just let me go 90 seconds.
I'll give you 90 seconds. I'm not going to step in the way of a bet.
Virgil van Gogh.
Vincent.
Good stuff. Well, listen, if you're enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, continue following, continue watching along. We obviously have a huge game coming up then with Morocco, Netherlands. We have a handshake agreement, a handshake bet here.
And if you win our tournament bracket challenge, you actually get onto the pod.
That's a great point, Ruby. For those that have already joined, obviously at this point it's already locked in, but those who have already joined and are in, whoever comes in first place on that, we will let you come onto the pod. Maybe you want to do the segment with Harubi. Maybe you want to do the 1.5 minute with him, Van Gogh. We'll let you, whether you want to play a game, maybe you want to bring up a segment, you have questions for us, whatever it might be, you get to actually join us on the pod. Should be a really fun one. And yeah, like I said, we will catch you guys soon. Again, keep liking, subscribing. We're going to continue coming out with this content. And yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.